all the cables, all the hardware, and all the software, getting a 2PC stream setup ready may seem a little daunting and complicated, but it shouldn't be. So I'm going to help you get through it. Hey, what's up everybody, Dimitri of Cat Gaming here, and today we're going to be going over how I have my two PCs set up for streaming and how I've now since transitioned over to using a mixer. So we'll go over the original way that I had my PCs set up for audio and video and how I have it all set up now. Today's video is going to be broken down into a few parts. We're going to start with audio, then we're going to transition over to audio without a mixer. We'll then go into audio with a mixer. And then we'll quickly go over some peripherals and software that I use in order to get all this working properly. If you have any questions about today's video or you just want to come out and have a little chat, I stream on Twitch from Friday until Tuesdays. Come check me out, hop in the chat, say hello, I'd love to see you there, and let's just hop right into the video. Alright, so first we're going to have video. My video setup is pretty simple. I have my gaming PC plugged into my streaming PC via HDMI out on the graphics card of my gaming PC into the 4K 60 Pro MK2 on my streaming computer, and then having the output on the MK2 to my monitor because my monitor supports HDMI 2.0. So important thing to note here is that if you're going to stream at a high refresh rate and high resolution like I do, which is 1440p 144 Hz, you're either going to need HDMI 2.0 on your monitor, or you're going to have to do a 2 cable setup. So if you have an HDMI 2.0 setup, it's very easy to do. You take your HDMI out from your graphics card, you plug it into the Elgato or whichever capture card you're using. It has to be one that supports the resolution and frame rate that you're using, so make sure you double check that. My 4K 60 Pro MK2 supports 144 Hz at 1440p. From there, you're going to plug your HDMI out from the capture card into your monitor and make sure you plug it into the HDMI 2.0 port if it has multiple. Usually they will label it, or you'd have to check the manual. So if you do not have an HDMI 2.0 monitor, you're going to have to do a DisplayPort and HDMI setup. To do this, you're going to have to set up your graphics card to have an HDMI out to your capture card, and then also from your gaming graphics card, you're gonna have to go DisplayPort to your monitor. So now that you have the cable set up, you're gonna have to go into your graphics control panel and make sure all the settings are correct. So if you're doing the full HDMI setup, all you have to do is go into the control panel and make sure that you're outputting the resolution that you want to play at, which would be, for me, 1440p, and then make sure that the refresh rate is set to whichever one you want to have at. So mine would be 144 Hz. As long as you make sure that's enabled, you should be good to go. Now, if you're doing the DisplayPort and HDMI setup, it's going to be a little bit different. Once you open up that control panel, you're going to want to make sure that you have set up multiple displays, and you're going to want to make sure that you have it on duplicate. Everything that's going through one output is going to the other output as well. And then again, you're going to go back to resolution, and for both of the displays, you're going to make sure that it's at the resolution and the refresh rate that you want. So if for some reason your resolution and your refresh rate are not appearing with whatever device is connected via HDMI, please ensure that you have an HDMI high-speed cable. You don't need to go and spend hundreds of dollars on any of those HDMI 2.0 cables or anything like that. Just make sure that it is a high-speed capable HDMI cable, and you should be good. From there, it's pretty simple. Just set up your capture card whichever way that they have laid out for you in OBS, and your capture should be good to go. And here you'll see the settings that I have for my Elgato 4K 60 MK2, and this is me capturing at 144 frames per second and 1440p. So this is the settings that I have set up using this capture card specifically. So setting up your audio with the 2PC stream setup without a mixer is a little bit more complicated, and there are a lot of options and ways that you can do so, but today we're going to go over 2 ways, one of which is with the USB microphone and the other one is with a 3.5mm headset. So when doing it with the USB microphone, unfortunately, the biggest compromise here is going to be that you're not going to be able to hear your streaming computer. So you'll need to have your Discord on your gaming computer, and you will not be able to hear sound alerts. In a future video, I'm going to go over a few other ways that you can set up your audio without a mixer in order to not have that kind of compromise, but to do it now would really extend the length of this video. And so I'm just going to show you the two ways that I have done it so far in the past. So doing it with a USB microphone is very simple. The only thing that's going to go into your streaming computer is going to be the USB microphone. So you're going to plug that in. And then what you're going to do is you're going to grab a 3.5mm male to male. You're going to plug that into the line out on your streaming computer, and you're going to direct that towards the line in or the microphone in on your gaming computer. One thing to note is you're going to want to make sure that no other audio is going to be coming through your line out on your streaming computer. So you can utilize Voicemeeter to do that and make sure that all of your system audio is going to another device and that only the microphone is going to go to your line out. Alright, so the setup for this is very simple. What you're going to want to do is add your microphone into one of the hardware inputs. And then what you're going to do is you're going to send that to your audio out. So that would be your Realtek high definition out, for example. So if you see here, I have my Realtek high definition audio on A4. So we're going to go and click A4. So what that does is now my microphone is being sent out of my streaming computer through the audio out, and it is being brought into my gaming computer via the microphone line in or the line in input. Alright, so I didn't want you guys to have to listen to that echo for this entire next portion, so I am re-recording it, and my voice just isn't going to match with my mouth for these next couple minutes. So adding the microphone in OBS is pretty simple. You're going to go in and add it as an audio source. Now you can either do it as the audio source itself directly from the microphone, or you can bring it into Voicemeeter and then use one of the virtual inputs as your audio source within OBS. And to do that, you would select either B1 or B2, and then within OBS, choose whichever source you are forwarding that microphone input towards. And now we'll hop over to the gaming PC and I'll show you how that looks. So on the gaming PC, this is also very simple. As you can already see, I already have mine pulling in. So you're going to go and you're going to use your microphone as either the line in or the microphone in. You're going to select that as your device, and then you can send it out to one of the virtual outputs, either B1, B2, or B3 if you have Voicemeeter Potato. And there you go, your microphone's all set up. You can set that as your default input in Windows, and everything should be able to utilize that as a microphone now. So now your microphone is being sent over from your streaming computer into your gaming computer without any issues. Now a quick note, if you are getting a lot of audio feedback or buzzing, that is because when converting digital audio to analog, you end up running into ground loop issues. So if you do notice that as being an issue, you can pick up something like this, which is a ground loop isolator. They're pretty inexpensive. You can pick it up for usually under 10 bucks. And you just plug in your audio source on one end and you plug it into whatever device you're using, and it'll help eliminate all of the ground loop isolation noise. So this is a very great tool. I will leave links in the video description below for this. And I have these used even when I'm using the mixer, because computers to the mixer is digital to analog, so I ended up having a lot of buzzing, and this helped get rid of it. So now doing this with a 3.5mm headset setup is also very simple, but what you're going to want is you're going to want two 3.5mm audio splitters. And what you're going to do is you're going to plug one of these into your audio out and your microphone out. And then what you'll do is you'll plug one into your gaming computer and you'll plug the other one into your streaming computer. And you'll do that for both your audio and your microphone, so that your microphone will be going to both sources and that your audio will be heard from both sources. And so that one doesn't have as many compromises, but you will be using a lot of adapters, so you have more points of failure. But if that's the way you want to do it and you are using a headset, that is a really good way to do it, and very simple and easy to set up. Also, if you're doing it this way, you don't really need to use Voicemeeter. You just set up the device as you normally would, with the audio out going to your headphones and the microphone in being your microphone source on both OBS, and then on your gaming computer it would be your default settings, and then you're good to go. That's it. That's all you really need. I will leave a link in the video description below for some 3.5mm splitters that you can use as well. And now for the slightly more complicated part, splitting your audio using a mixer. So I spent a good couple of weeks trying to figure out the best way to route my audio from all of my sources into my mixer and then to my headset. As I mentioned in my last video, I don't actually use my USB mixer via USB because the audio output from it is very, very, very low. So my microphone being captured in OBS would be really low, and I have to boost it a lot and it would cause a lot of distortion. So now I do everything via analog cables. So if you want your mixer audio setup to be just like mine, what you're going to need at a minimum is 3 dual 1/4 inch TS to 3.5mm cables, and those are going to be from your gaming computer to your mixer, your streaming computer to your mixer, and then your mixer back to your streaming computer. What you're also going to need is a 1/4 inch to 3.5mm adapter to send your microphone out from the mixer to the streaming computer as its separate audio source. If your headphone doesn't have one, you're going to want another 1/4 inch to 3.5mm adapter to plug your headphones into your mixer, and then you're going to need a minimum of 2 ground loop isolators. Alright, so let's quickly go over the layout of my very dusty mixer here. First things first, we have my microphone in here, and I have all of my dials set. And I have my FX, which is my auxiliary out, set to about 50%. You'll notice here I actually have an extra audio cable coming in. This is from my monitor out into RCA jacks, and what that'll do is my console audio will get routed from my console through the capture card into the monitor, and then out of the monitor into the mixer, and that way I can monitor it and listen to it. I can also use that and unplug that cable from my monitor, plug it into a phone, and use it as some other audio source. You get a lot of flexibility from that. But for that, you would just need an RCA to 3.5mm cable and then another ground loop isolator. On channel 7 here, this is my gaming computer, and those are those 2 TRS cables. And then on 9 and 10, I have the streaming computer, and these are the outputs from both the streaming and the gaming computer into the mixer to pull audio. And then these 2 cables here are from the mixer out to the streaming computer as the mixed audio source. Up here we have a 3.5mm to 1/4 inch adapter into a 3.5mm splitter in order to send my microphone to my streaming computer and my gaming computer as just the microphone. So this does not pull any of the other mixed audio sources. This is just my microphone. And what this allows me to do is it allows me to use my Discord on my streaming computer, and it allows me to push my microphone to my gaming computer so that I can talk in game and I can talk on my Discord, and they won't hear any of the other sounds or anything. It'll just be my microphone, and I can control it directly through here, which is great. And I can also use any of the sound effects that are built into my board while doing so. And finally, we have a 90-degree 1/4 inch to 3.5mm adapter, and I use this for my headphones. I didn't like having all that strain on my headphone cable, so I use a 90-inch adapter, and then I kind of have it just like routing around a bunch of cables just to keep it neat so that it's not all over my desk. And that's the simple layout there. So now if we go to my gaming computer, this is the way that I have my Voicemeeter set up. So I have my microphone coming in on this audio source here and being sent to B2. I have my game audio and everything coming through the Voicemeeter input. I don't really split all too much audio anymore between my virtual inputs, but I do usually put my Spotify and my Google Chrome on this virtual input 3 here. And what that allows me to do is that if I am listening to music, for example, I have a lot of audio sources plugged in, as you can see here. So I have my digital output, which actually goes to my AVR, which then pumps music into all of my monitors and my surround sound system. So if I'm listening to music and I don't want to hear the audio also coming through my headphones here, I will turn off A4 and I'll just push everything through A1. So that's the kind of utilization that I use Voicemeeter on the gaming computer. But yeah, anything that's going through A4 is going to go to my mixer. So I have all of my gaming audio, anything here and anything here is all going to come through A4 so that I can listen to my computer through my headphones in my mixer, and all of that also gets captured in the mixer source when it goes into OBS for my streaming computer. Now on the streaming computer, you can see a lot more stuff happening here. So here is the microphone solo. This is from the same microphone source that my gaming computer is using. So this is just my microphone. This is all my microphone. Here, however, is the mixed audio source. So all of the audio sources being brought into the mixer, being sent out of the mixer, are all through here. So as you can see, when I'm not talking, my microphone does pick up a lot of background noise, and that's because I have an air conditioner in the back that makes quite a bit of noise. But what you'll notice is I'm going to start playing some music on my gaming computer, and you will see that the hardware input 3 is actually going to be moving quite a bit, and the hardware input 2 would just be the background input noise. And now if I mute my microphone, the audio on the line in would still work because it's pulling the music. So pretty easy, pretty simple. So yeah, as you're able to hear the music, and everything works out really well this way for me. So if we go through the rest of the mixer here, I basically just have everything going to my digital audio output, which is also again going to my AVR, and then the speakers, which are the outputting towards the mixer so that they can go into my headphones. And for the most part, that is it. That is the audio layout that I have set up. I will leave some images of wiring diagrams in the description below, so that if you did have any questions or things were a little bit too confusing, hopefully those will be able to help you out a little bit. And let's quickly go over the way I use peripherals. So with your peripherals, like your mouse and keyboard, you have a lot of options that you can use. So for a little while, I was using a USB switcher on my keyboard so that I can just use one keyboard for both the gaming computer and the streaming computer, one like this. Unfortunately, it's quite a pain in the butt to switch the keyboard between the two sources, and I wasn't really enjoying that kind of workflow. What I ended up utilizing was wireless peripherals for the streaming computer, and then my wired peripherals for my gaming computer. This allows me to move these around wherever I want. I can use this entirely on its own. It's got a trackpad, so I wouldn't even need to use an extra mouse. But I utilize these quite a bit, and I just have the keyboard off to the side, and whenever I need to type on the streaming computer, I just pull it over and type a few things into it. I normally don't type a lot on the streaming computer when I am playing. Normally it'll only be to switch maybe the game that I'm playing or update a title, but normally I don't use it that much, so that's why I decided to go with this. You can also end up using Logitech mice like the MX Master 2S, which have multiple connections available. So you have 3 connections available on this, so you can grab another unifying receiver, plug it into your gaming computer and your streaming computer, and you can switch it between the two. But this isn't a great mouse to use while gaming, so I utilize it on both computers, but I only use it as a general mouse when I'm on my gaming computer, so it doesn't really get used all that often while I'm streaming. You can also end up using software like Synergy, which allows you to share your mouse and your keyboard between 2 different computers as if they were multiple monitors. The only downside that I have personally for this, I've used it very much a lot in the past, but if you're in a game, it's really hard, unless you're using borderless, to go and switch over the mouse to the other computer. And then the problem is sometimes it's a little bit more problematic to get it back over to the gaming computer and onto the game. So I didn't like utilizing that while streaming. I still use it, but I don't use it while I stream. I use it when I'm doing other things and productivity, like when I'm cutting up these videos and editing them. But I do not use them during streaming anymore, but there are lots of software options like it that you could utilize if that's the path you want to go down. So if you found this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. Really helps me out. And if you had any questions about today's video, or if I left anything out, please leave a comment in the section below and I'll try to get to you as quickly as possible. Or if you want to have more of a discussion about it, we can go through it in the Discord. I'll leave a link in the video description for that below. And as I mentioned, I'm going to be doing a second part where I will go into more options for your audio between the two computers without using a mixer in a future video. So if there's anything I did miss today, I will go and add that into the other video. And as always, I stream on Twitch from Fridays until Tuesdays. Come check me out, come say hello. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask me in there as well. Next week, we're going to be switching to improving your stream. And I'm going to start off by doing a OBS plugin video. So if there are any plugins that you would like me to cover, please leave a comment below. I already have a nice good set that I use myself, and we'll be going over those and how I utilize them for my streams. I'll see you guys next Friday.